Hi Dollar Divas, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just gonna be doing a chatty get ready with me, just kind of catching you up on life lately. And I'm gonna be doing a full face of nothing over $10. Pretty much everything's from the drugstore or Five Below. So I'm gonna be doing kind of a neutral eye and just a soft glossy pink lip, all that kind of thing, and just catch you up on what's been going on. So if you're a returning Dollar Diva, thank you so much for coming back for another video. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Jessica and I'm a bargain beauty channel. What I mean by that is I like to do a lot of the same fun content that other beauty channels do. I just like to keep it at a bargain price point. And usually I try to make it as close to $1 as possible. Sometimes I branch out and go a little bit more into the drugstore price point, but not often. So we have a lot to talk about today, so without any further chit chat, let's just go ahead and get into today's video. So as always, I'm gonna be starting with my brows. This is the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. This is in neutral brown. This here I got at CVS, and I'm a frequent CVS shopper because of the app and the coupon system that they have in place. So I can usually get a whole basket full of things, usually for relatively cheap. So if I do a drugstore makeup tutorial, it's usually makeup I bought at CVS. And this is a really nice brow pencil. Like I said, I think it's like $3 or less. It's got a good amount of tug. And if you struggle with colors or shades from the Dollar Tree, this here will be your best bet because it's gonna be one of the cheaper things you can find, and it's really, really nice. I know sometimes the Dollar Tree brow pencils, whether they're LA Colors or Ioni, can pull very warm. This one's just, like I said, got the right amount of tug. It's not too creamy. I don't like a brow pencil that is too creamy because I do tend to mess up very, very easily. So this one here is just, this brow pencil is perfection to me. So I hope everybody survived the winter storms that we've gotten so far, and I guess we're kind of all expecting a little something more this weekend. I live in the South, not the deep South, but the South, and we didn't get it all that bad. I mean, it's been cold, but we didn't get the really bad snow, at least where I'm at. Other areas not too far away were not so lucky. They got a lot of ice, but we seemed to have avoided that. So we didn't lose power or really anything like that. So we've been very lucky. I've got some friends that still live up north, like up in New England, and they got a lot of crazy weather, lots of snow. So this is an LA Colors concealer. I think this is from Family Dollar or Dollar General. I think you can also find it at Five Below. It's the LA Colors Conceal It Cover and Correct Concealer. This right here is so much better than like the flesh tone concealers you get from LA Colors at the Dollar Tree. That stuff is not worth a penny, let alone $1.25. This is the shade Light. I'm gonna use this to conceal as well as clean up under my brows. I'm actually trying to use this up. I actually had this in my work makeup bag for the majority of last year, trying to use it up. And I say my work makeup bag because if you are new here, I am a performer, like I'm a full-time singer, and I've done that for the good majority of my adult life. I've also been a magician's assistant for a good period of time. And by that I mean I was worked with a magician and, you know, was the lady in all the tricks and stuff. And yes, I do know the secrets. It is no fun to know, believe me, so I don't tell anybody. But so like I said, I've got some updates for you all. So there we go. So I just cleaned up my brows, and then we'll use that to conceal a little bit later as well. I'm gonna add some eyeshadow primer. This is from Shop Miss A. It's the AOA Studio Shadow Stay eyeshadow primer. This here was like, I think $1.88, as a lot of stuff on Shop Miss A is. So yeah, like I said, I'm a performer. So I do, I pack a makeup bag for work because I do my hair and makeup in work for shows and stuff. And so I actually just packed up my makeup bag because I should be going back to work and doing some shows on a limited basis next week. But really our season doesn't start back up till March full time. So I'm kind of in my off season right now. And we have an off season just because tourism is low certain times of the year, mainly this time of year. So for shadow, you guys will remember this from a recent Dollar General makeup haul and full face I did. This is the LA Colors Invite Only eyeshadow palette. The color's all wearing off. I've had it in my work bag after I bought it last year, but it's just this beautiful neutral color story. I think this was about $10. It so deserves a place in this video because you get so many eyeshadows. You get warm and cool tones, you get shimmers, mattes. You really don't need much else. So I'm just gonna take a little fluffy brush and I'm gonna go in all over my lid. Don't really know exactly what color story I'm gonna do. It's obviously gonna be something neutral. I think I'm gonna go in with the shade right here all over my lid. So I guess the big news I can tell you, because I can finally share it. I've known it for a good little while, but haven't been able to really share it with people that I know and stuff like that. But until now it's official. But the theater company that I work for I do like 2 or 3, really any show that they have in the building is going to be, the building that they're in has been sold, and they have no plans on trying to find another venue as of yet. So October 31st will be my last day of full-time performing. I'm gonna start building this up. I think I'm gonna go a little bit taupey. I think I'm gonna go into that shade right there, that kind of matte taupey shade, and just start building this up. I'm gonna use the same brush for right now. Kind of overall in the area that I live, theater has been kind of slowly dying over the last, I'll say 20 years, but specifically over the last 10 years. Just, new things coming in, the people that come here are evolving as we all are, and live theater just is not as desirable as it once was. And so the opportunities have kind of gotten to be less and less. And so I've got a lot of people asking what I'm going to do. And of course, you never know when a door closes what might open, and I'm always open to opportunities. But I'm not actively seeking out another performing job or actively planning on seeking out another performance job. Doesn't mean I will not sing or perform after this, but it just means that probably my days of, 5 to 6 days a week, kind of full-time performing, are maybe behind me. So we're just kind of building that up a bit. Same brush again, I'm gonna go into that brown shade right there. So I'm kind of thinking, since that's about 9 months away, and of course I've been spending the last 6.5 years on my channel. There's a little bit of fallout with these, but that's okay. That's why I do my eyes first. I've been doing this channel here for about 6.5 years, and I'm gonna take another brush and just really, like a clean fluffy brush, and just blend this really nice. And so, yeah, by then it'll be over 7 years that I've had my channel, and my plan is to just do this full time. Of course, I've got the support of my husband in that. And like I said, it doesn't mean that I'm not open to opportunities and stuff like that, but see, that is building up really, really nice. I think it's time for some shimmer, and then I think I'll probably try to pack on a little bit more dark shade. I might use a different brush, but I'm gonna go into shimmer for right now. Just gonna use a flat brush, just like this. I'm gonna go into this taupe shimmer shade right here. None of the shades have names on them or anything like that. They're just shades. And people are always forever asking me what I spray on my brush to dampen my shimmer shadows. Always setting spray. I'm not brand specific. In other words, I don't have a favorite brand. This one here is just from Ioni. It just dampens the shadow and makes your shimmers go on really nice. So I worked for the same magician for many years, and we actually ended up moving into the venue where I'm at now that housed some song and dance shows. So for a while, I did just the magic show for many years. When we lost our venue during COVID, we moved into this venue. And then because I am a singer, I also joined the other shows that were at the theater as well. And then at some point, the magician that I worked for, I actually left the magic show just because it was time to move on. Stayed at the theater and did the other song and dance shows. And then eventually, the magician I worked for left and got his own venue. And I stayed at the theater, and so I've been there ever since. See how beautiful that is? That's so pretty. So I'm gonna take a more compact brush, like this one right here. And I'm gonna really kind of pack on a little bit more of that brown shade. So I'm just gonna go back into that shade there with a more compact brush. And so now I've been at this venue here. This will be my 6th or 7th season. And like I said, there's just not many song and dance shows left in town. And so, like I said, I'm not gonna actively pursue anything. I'd like to, just go out purposely on a high note. So there we go. So I'm gonna pause on the eyeshadow for now. We're gonna come back and add details, but I'm gonna move on to liner, lashes, complexion, and we'll come back to do the finishing touches. So as you know, I'm gonna pause on the eyeshadow there. We'll come back, but I'm gonna move on to liner, lashes, complexion, and then I'll come back and I'll add details to my eyes, as always. So I'm gonna add lashes. These are from Five Below. These are kind of on their last leg. These are the LA Colors Dermatolash half lashes in lifted volume. They're like a little halfling, and I love them. And then I'm gonna be using the Ioni Lash Glue and Liner in one. And I'm not gonna give super detail on putting on my lashes. I'm just gonna be putting them on, but if you do want an in-depth tutorial, I will have it linked down below. So yeah, I had this really kind of a weird thing happen last year where I just ended up with unilateral vocal cord paralysis, which has nothing to do with singing, and it has everything to do with your nerve. I just happen to be a singer. And the theater I worked at was very, very accommodating. I still stayed employed. I stayed in one of the shows, and it was just kind of curated to fit what my capabilities were. And then as the course of the year went on and my voice got a little stronger, I still, as of December 1st, still have a paralyzed vocal cord. my voice has just gotten stronger through some miracle. I guess probably using it, honestly. I'd go back on in a couple days from now to see what the status of it is. But as of December 1st, it is still paralyzed. It may not be anymore. I don't know. Won't know till next week. Usually it clears up and comes back within 6 months to a year if there's not something major causing it. Because sometimes a virus just gets into the nerve or something like that and just knocks the nerve out temporarily. And I've been tested for just about everything. I actually got called from a neurologist today, so I will be doing that. He does want to, on the odd chance it doesn't come back, he wants to have me set up with a neurologist just in case it is perhaps maybe caused by some kind of autoimmune condition, or they may even, I think a neurologist can, if it doesn't come back, they can test my nerves and stuff like that and do all kinds of things. So he does want me under the care of a neurologist as of yet, but I just haven't gone because it's just hard to get in. So anyway, but as the year went on last year, I ended up doing more and more to where at the end of the year I was doing all the shows again, and my voice had made a pretty miraculous turnaround. I mean, again, it wasn't absolutely perfect. This lash here is not cooperating. But yeah, so by the end of the year, I was kind of back doing a good amount, which was great. And this year, we're kind of, the last season, we don't really know. I don't know exactly how the year's gonna go, but we will see. I'm definitely open, and kind of no matter what, whether my nerve comes back or not, I'm gonna do as much as I can. Lashes are on. I'll do some pencil liner in my waterline when we come back to finish up the eyes, but I'm gonna move on to complexion. And this here I used one time in a full face of LA Girl. This is the LA Girl Pro Prep High Definition Face Primer. It's really, really nice. It's this very kind of silicone-based clear primer. It's ultra smooth, ultra silky, and just feels amazing on the skin. So retiring from full-time performing may not be a bad idea, if that is what is in my will. I'm very relaxed about it. And there's still so much time, we still have a good amount of time this year. So I'm excited, as well as, of course it's always a little sad when something ends, but you have to be able to, move on, you know what I'm saying? And it's happened before. As a performer, I make the joke, I have shut down many theaters. So I'm gonna be using the LA Color Skin Tint. This is from Dollar General. I think you can probably find it at Family Dollar and probably Walmart and Five Below as well. This is in natural beige, really, really nice. Because I don't have a damp sponge, I'm gonna use a makeup brush. Put some on the brush, and then I'm just gonna put it on the back of my hand and apply. So yeah, well, like I said, my big plan is to do YouTube full time and give this my full attention, but also be open to any opportunities that may arise. And so there is that. And like I said, I find out the current status of my vocal cord next week, and I am gonna be seeing a neurologist here soon. And so that is still ongoing and kind of needs to be investigated no matter what, just on the off chance that there's still some kind of a condition going on that I'm not aware of. I don't anticipate that being the case, but life is crazy and you just never know. This stuff just applies so nice. Ooh, I got some makeup on my earrings, which are from Shein, by the way. Yes, they are lions. This has such a beautiful finish on the skin. So y'all, I don't know about you guys, but I am ready for spring. I was never ready for winter to come, let alone be here. But I am very happy that the days are still, they're getting longer. It's now starting to get dark like around 6 versus like 5:30. I had someone suggest to put a little bit of this on my chest. I'm just gonna take what's on my brush. My chest is like always just a little bit red. It's just my skin tone. It's just the way I am. Only time in my life my skin was never red, a little bit on my chest was, y'all, so like in 2008, I did one cruise ship contract as a singer. Before I finish that story, I'm gonna put a little bit of concealer on the inner corner parts of my eyes, just that same LA Colors one. And so it was an Alaskan cruise, so for 4 months I was a lounge singer in a band. I had to try it. I didn't really care for it. It just wasn't the life for me, especially at that time in my life. I was getting ready to marry my first husband, and all my money was just going home and paying for bills that I wasn't even home for. And usually, like when you do a cruise ship, you either have a family that you send the money back to, or you know, like kids and stuff, or, you're single and you're saving money. For me, it was like not really either of those things. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I bought these at Dollar General. They're the LA Colors Shape It Up and Show It Off palettes face. This here is a contour one. It is, let's see if it's gonna shade. Shape It Up. And then this here is a Show It Off. And so I'm gonna go in with some bronzer out of this. I'm just gonna use that darkest shade there. It's a contour kit, so you get the light shades and like a darker shade. I'm just gonna use a big fluffy brush and just go into that shade. This should be just a nice little glow. So one thing they don't tell you about Alaska is it's not sunny a lot. It rains a lot. It's just not sunny. It's beautiful, and there are some beautiful sunny days, but it, you know, it's Alaska, you know? And so I completely missed out on an entire summer because I was gone. The contracts usually for Alaska cruises run May to like September. And so between being on the cruise ship all the time and not really being in a lot of sunlight and being kind of bundled up and rain, and I probably only saw the sun once a week. When I got home, the first day I was home, my chest was like translucent. It was just like, and literally it didn't take but being home like a day and a half before I got a little bit of color on my chest. So that was probably the only time in my life my skin didn't have a little bit of redness to it on my chest. But like obviously like I'm not out in the sun right now because I've been like huddled up inside and stuff. So it's just kind of my natural skin color. I know sometimes in the summer I have people tell me I'm sunburnt, in which I'm not because I wear sunscreen. But yeah. That's just a nice natural bronzer. If I was contouring, I would use those lighter shades, but I'm not today. So this is gonna be my blush and my highlighter. So this is like a shimmery highlighter. Of course, these are blush shades. This here, I think, is more of like not so much a blush, because that wouldn't even be good for like a really light skin tone. I think it's actually more of like a matte highlighter. So I'm just gonna take a brush and dip it into those shades. I'm just gonna go into both of them and just add some of this color. This should be a really natural shade. Look at that, that's just so pretty. You know me, I love my bright shades, but I love when something is super easy to work with. Can't really go wrong, and I'm gonna use that highlighter shade as well. I go into that and this shade right here. Just add a nice little brightening effect right here. Different brush, of course. There we go, that looks really, really nice. So now I'm gonna go back to the eyes. Like I'm gonna put some liner in my waterline, and this is really nice. This is a recent purchase from my full face of LA Girl makeup. This is the Glide Gel Eyeliner. This is in very black. It's really, really nice. Worth the money. It's a few dollars. It's not like high-end price, but it's the drugstore price point, you know, but still a very nice eyeliner. Creamy and pigmented and lovely. And I'm gonna go all in my waterline, like all the way around my waterline. I want this to be a neutral but dramatic eye. So I'm gonna go back into the palette and I'm gonna smudge out some of this shade right here underneath, kind of smoke it out. Take a smudger brush. This one here is from IT. I've had this little trio of IT brushes for years now. They've been really great. They don't sell these particular ones anymore, but they always have like a different set out. And IT brushes are definitely worth an investment if you want to spend like a little bit more, you know, if you want to spend money on brushes. But Dollar Tree has so many great ones as well. And really the majority of my makeup brush collection is drugstore and Dollar Tree. But these here I bought these several years ago, and they've been a go-to. Here we go, loving it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of this matte white right here into the inner corner. You know I love my inner corner highlight, and lately I've been loving a matte one. This is gonna be my go-to brush as well, right here. This is from Dollar Tree. Just a little tapered brush. I'm gonna go into that white shade, tap it off just a little bit, and just go on in and just do a little brightening. This doesn't have to be super, super white, just a little something. So there we go. I think I'm gonna pop a little bit of that up on my brow bone, just very little. Nothing crazy dramatic. So last year was also, I guess in conclusion, last year was also a time of letting go of some old friendships that were just not fulfilling or conducive to where I am and where I want to go, and embracing new friendships too. And that's a big thing. I think, you know, as I hit my 40s, that just became kind of a non-negotiable, you know, as I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that, especially some of the Dollar Divas I have that are my age or older. Here we go, loving the drama of that. So now for lips, for my full face of LA Girl, this is the Perfect Precision Lip Liner. This is in the shade Berry Wine, and it's just a wonderful shade. Then this here I've had for a while. This is from Five Below. They still sell these. This is the LA Colors High Shine Shea Butter Lip Gloss. This is in Playful. I've got one that is like a nude as well, but I thought pink might be kind of fun. And I'm just gonna go kind of light with my lip line. I'm not gonna do anything too dramatic. Yeah, and kind of redefining like my friend circle too. That's been a tough thing because I'm still in a circle where some of those people like run, and that is a tough thing sometimes to have your boundary of who you want to be around with while still being around people that are still kind of people you still want to be friends with. You know, it's a tough line, you know, as your life transitions and things come to an end, and yet still so much is the same, you know. These lip glosses are so beautiful. The other one's really nice too. They're very decadent. They're a little sticky. They've got a very true color payoff to what the bottle looks like. And with the shea butter, they're supposed to be super moisturizing. So now to finish off the look, again from my Full Face of LA Girl, this is the LA Girl Pro Setting High Definition Setting Spray. It's got a matte finish and it's long lasting, and it helps you, it's gonna help set your makeup down and help provide like a matte look. Shake it up. I always shake up my setting sprays. So there we go. There is our neutral but dramatic makeup look using all products that are under $10. Things from the drugstore, things from Five Below, things from Family Dollar, Dollar General. And it just shows that you can really get a high-end makeup look using inexpensive makeup products. So it was fun to chat with you all and catch you up a little bit on some things. There's still so much more I can only think of and talk about, so many in one video. But today's was pretty big, you know, a major life change coming up toward the end of the year. And so anyways, if you enjoyed this video, of course, show me you did by hitting the like button and hyping it if you can. That definitely helps me and my channel out so much. And definitely check out related content in the description box. Give some of my other videos a binge watch. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.